Good morning, Long Island. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Broadcasting live from the America First Media Campus. This is We Will Not Comply, the 34th episode of We Will Not Comply. We're here, we're live, we're ready to go. It's a beautiful Monday morning. Say hello.
Good morning, my neighbors. Whoa, that hair is looking rough. Let me get a hat.
You got bad hair today.
Oh,
Kevin's got some awful hair today. What did you do? Holy cow. It looks like he woke up on the wrong side of the bed today. He's got a hat on now. He's going to come back and sit down. And and after a really fun weekend, I want to say congratulations to my cousin Matthew and his beautiful wife, Meredith, on their wedding in Texas. That's where we were. Well, that's where I was on Friday and Saturday, and came home yesterday. Look at this here. Good morning, FU. This one knows all about the, and there's Barry right there. It's good to see everybody in the chat this morning. Love you guys. So congratulations to Matt and Meredith. And also, if you're listening, I don't know if this guy's listening or not, but I'll tell you the quick story. Coming home on the plane yesterday, I'm sitting next to this guy, a younger guy, and he sees that I'm decked out. I mean, completely decked out in loud majority stuff, the way it should be. And I had my hat, I had my hoodie, I had my
knapsack.
My knapsack. Okay, my drawstring bag. It's called a knapsack. But I had all that, and he goes, "Hey, is that your company?" I was like, "Yeah." So he starts, "I want to support you guys. How do I support you guys?" So I gave him the website. He goes on the website. He goes, "Oh, man, I'm definitely getting that shirt." It was the Let's Go Brandon shirt. It says he's getting it for his sister, who's a big liberal. So to Anthony in Texas, I'm not going to give you the last name, but to Anthony in Texas, if you're listening.
Your shirt is on the way, my friend.
Your shirt's on the way. I told you we'd pack it up and get it out to you today. So it's getting out there. And so thanks for ordering it literally from the seat next to me on Southwest Airlines. Let's Go Brandon. That was awesome.
Also want to give a big shout out to the New York City Young Republicans. They had their annual gala last weekend. They got me in a tux, so clearly this was an impressive event. I looked like Boss Tweed.
Penguin.
I looked like, I really did look like the penguin.
The Emperor Penguin.
I think I was looking quite handsome.
That's debatable.
Quite handsome. But, it was a great event. Hanging out with Jenna Ellis and Raheem Kassam, some awesome people. Met Colonel Allen West, the next governor of Texas.
The next governor of Texas?
The next governor of Texas.
Right.
After Greg Abbott's done.
Greg Abbott, when is he done?
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think he's losing re-election anytime soon.
I'm calling it, though.
I like Alan West, but I don't think he's beating Greg Abbott.
It was a good and Sean got to FaceTime Jenna Ellis.
I FaceTimed Jenna Ellis from my cousin's wedding.
From the wedding.
Yeah. But
apparently she's a huge fan of that impression. Which,
we know she's a huge fan.
Which,
she retweets it all the time.
Whatever.
And knew my name right off the bat. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
I was just a vessel. I was just a messenger for Sean's happiness.
That's right. My happiness reached levels of unmatched levels of love.
But other than that, it was a big week. We've been seeing that we missed Friday.
Yeah.
Big week.
Big week. A lot of things happened.
A lot of things happening. Who knows what's going to happen with Roe versus Wade?
Roe versus Wade is being heard, I guess. So not really being heard, but there's a challenge essentially to it in the Supreme Court.
It was heard, and I don't really know what the implications are going to be. Because it takes about 6 months to write a decision.
Right. And this is going to go on for a while.
And if this case gets overturned, great. Less dead babies. I'm totally a fan of that. But the implications it could have for the 22 midterms are huge, and we don't really know what's going to come of that. Will that energize the Dems to come out? Will that piss off the suburban housewives that we have worked so hard to cultivate, to bring over to our side? I don't know, but it's going to be a...
Well, I think the most important thing to talk about with regards to Roe is what this decision actually means, right? Does this decision mean if they go ahead and turn over Roe, not that they overturn it and this whole thing, but if they go ahead and change the interpretation of Roe versus Wade or overturn it, however you want to say it, this does not make abortion illegal. We've said this on Wednesday, I think. This doesn't make abortion illegal in the United States, okay? It what it does is it transfers that power to the states, okay? Now, I don't like abortion. I would like to see a world where abortion does not exist and where kids are allowed to live, right? I believe the heartbeat bill, it's 15 weeks or whatever the case may be. There's a Texas law. I think this is the best way to go about it because, look, you want to say my body, my choice? All right, I'll be with you. But once there's two beating hearts inside your body, one of them is yours, one of them isn't. And you do not have the right to stop that beating heart. That's my belief. I can't speak for anybody else, but I can say, hey, this is what I believe, and I believe if you don't have the right to stop that beating heart if it's inside your body, just like you don't have the right to stop a beating heart if it's outside your body. That's called murder. If you're allowed to stop it when it's within you, when are you not allowed to stop it? This gets back to the idea of post-birth abortion, right? Post-birth abortion is something that can't be a thing, right? The baby is born. It's a U.S. citizen protected under the Constitution. There is no conversation that we have about what we do with the child.
Well, there's also two questions. There's the question of how you feel about abortion, which is one topic, and then there's the question of, is Roe versus Wade good law, which clearly it is not. Clearly, it was. I mean, I could bore you all with the case law. I was studying this all weekend, and so there is no right to privacy in the Constitution, regardless of what anyone says. You can look through it as much as you want. The word privacy does not come up in the Constitution. This all stems from a ridiculous law, Griswold versus Connecticut, which had to do with contraception in the state of Connecticut, and it all flowed from there. Now, the problem with Roe versus Wade is that and this is how leftist judges see the Constitution. They read into it what they think people meant when they wrote it. So because there's an amendment in the Constitution that says you have the right against illegal search and seizure, the leftist judges then wrote in, well, that means that you have privacy, and because you have privacy, you have the right to an abortion, which is absurd. Now, we can get into all the ridiculous legal standards like emanations and penumbras, but I'll put you all to sleep. Believe me, I did all the research.
It's too early in the morning for
It's
sleep.
too early in the morning for constitutional law.
Yeah.
But if this gets overturned, it's important to understand that nothing will change in about 40 states.
Right.
If anything, abortion laws will become more laxed in a lot of these states.
Right.
You'll see the Texas bill, the Mississippi bill, Georgia bills will go down to the single-digit weeks. But New York, California, Colorado, Massachusetts, the more liberal states, it will go up. We see that it's 40 weeks in New York, which is, I'm sorry.
That's
That's absurd.
That's absurd.
There's been one abortion doctor in history to ever be charged with murder. His name was Kermit Gosnell. It was in Philadelphia. He was aborting babies at 29, 30 weeks. If Kermit Gosnell had done that today in New York,
he'd be applauded.
He'd be applauded.
Yeah, he's a hero.
And he would be out of prison.
Right.
Now it's actually a pretty awful movie called Gosnell, starring Dean Cain. They were trying to resurrect him. He hasn't worked since the 90s, but about this whole case, and they show what that 29-week abortion looks like, and it's
good point here,
and it's something you can't unsee.
There's a good point here by Catherine Shook. There's many ways to prevent a pregnancy, and we never hear about that anymore.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's one really easy way to prevent a pregnancy, and it may not be the way everyone wants to talk about, but
certainly not the way I want.
But listen, there's a very easy way to not get pregnant. I mean, it's very simple,
well,
folks. And don't be Kamala Harris. It's something I could say.
Well, you know what? If you want to prevent pregnancy, you can always just start your own company and your own podcast, and then you'll have no time to have sex.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
yeah,
I'm not talking about any two people in particular, but
listen, I mean, there's a couple of easy ways to do it. And abortion is not to be used as birth control,
which we know, and it doesn't really matter what the PC police want to say. We know that it happens. There was a study out of the LA Times in 1992, I believe, which asked rich people if they thought that poor people used abortion for birth control, and all the rich people said, no, that never happens.
No,
and then they asked poor people, and all the poor people were like, yeah,
of course
they do. Who do you think is in a better position to know that?
And the worst part about it is then you're paying for it. That's
absurd.
The worst part about it is Planned Parenthood is funded by you. You may not like it. It's still funded by you. You're still giving the money. You're not donating to them, but you're getting taxed, and the government is funding it. And so are you happy with that? And if you're not happy with that, what do you want to do about that? And, so this is an important case, but it's very important. And when you hear liberals talk about it, or even conservatives talk about it, there's a lot of conservatives. I know a lot of conservatives who they firmly believe, we'll overturn Roe and then abortion's illegal. No, it's not. Sorry, that's not the way it works. And I'm not. I'm not celebrating that. I'm not excited about that. I would love to see stricter abortion policy. I would love to see it next to impossible to get, if not impossible, right? Safe, legal, and rare is what we were told. Just like we were told you can keep your doctor, you can keep your plan. Just like we were told it's only 15 days. And yes, that was our president who did 15 days to slow the spread, which I thought was a disaster then, which obviously I was right about.
Absolutely.
You know, we're on day 631, I think, or 632 of 15 days to slow the spread. It's never only 15. Look, if there's one good thing about COVID, right, and it's one good thing about these lockdowns, it's that it woke up a lot of people.
And here's what's important, too, about this, you know, and I'm not judging anyone, all right, so please don't take it like that. I'm not, you know. People are going to take the options that are presented to them. But the fact is that when Roe versus Wade was passed, we were told it was just a clump of cells.
Right.
We were told that it was just a fetus and
right.
it couldn't feel. But with the advancement of medical technology, I mean, you run into any pregnant woman, they can't wait to show you that sonogram.
Right.
And you know what? For a long time, I looked at those sonograms, and I swear to God, I did not know what I was looking at.
Right. I can't see the baby.
I can't see a single thing.
Right.
But now, there's a face. It's right. It's looking,
there.
It's looking right back at you.
And in some states and with Roe, you can just end that.
Yeah,
imagine that. You could just you look at the
it.
sonogram, you see a face, you see a living thing, you see a beautiful, what's going to be a child, which is a child. Look, there are studies, there's medicine that says that some of these fetuses are viable after 15 weeks. Okay, if that's viable, if that could survive, you can't kill it. I'm sorry. And again, there's ways not to get pregnant, many, and medicine has come so far now. Look, they always say it, even with COVID, the science evolved. Well, the science evolved, right? And now we know that at a certain point in time, yes, the fetus can feel pain. Did you hear? I don't know who it was who said this. It might have been a doctor. Said, just because it feels pain and reacts to pain does not mean it's alive. Because if you do this to a corpse, sometimes a corpse will involuntarily react if you poke its foot or something.
Yeah.
So the same thing. But the thing is, a corpse is dead, and a fetus inside the body is alive. So that fetus responding to pain while being alive is feeling pain. I don't understand how this person still has a medical degree.
And it's also if you look at Jane Roe, I don't know her name off the top of my head. The person the case was about, she's now a pro-life activist. If you guys want any more information on this, Abby Martin. No, not Abby Martin. What the hell's her name?
I don't know.
There was a movie called Unplanned. It was about her life. She was
not sure.
She was a.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know this person's name.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, I can't remember her name.
Forgot the name.
But she was a director at Planned Parenthood. And now she's a huge pro-life activist. Or Lila Rose. She runs a group called Live Nation, one of the largest pro-life organizations in the country.
Live Nation, like the music concert people.
Live Action.
Live Action.
Live Action.
I was going to say, Live Nation is like Jones Beach or something.
Live Action's where you get tickets.
Yeah.
Got to have more coffee today.
Live Nation's where you get tickets. Live Action is your pro-life group.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, you're confused.
I'm on fire today.
On fire. So, there's a lot. We're not going to get a ruling for what, 6 months, you said?
About 6 months,
Yeah,
I'd say.
so it's still important, though, to keep yourselves dialed into that. And again, finally, one more time, I know I said it a few times, but keep this on it. When you hear conservatives or liberals say that overturning Roe versus Wade is going to change a lot, it's not going to change a lot of things. It's not going to have the widespread implications that you think, and it's certainly not going to make abortion illegal nationally. It's just going to transfer that power
Abby
down to
Johnson,
the states.
thank you.
Abby Johnson.
Thank you, Francesca.
And so when you explain it to them that way, and look again now.
Abby Martin's the lunatic that's on Joe Rogan all the time.
Now I think I'm gonna get a lot of people mad because I just did this recording for California, and I think you agree with me on this. I think you do. I don't know. But the federal judge, remember we talked about this a couple of times, back when it happened. Remember when DeSantis went around and signed that bill that said you can sue social media companies if they censor somebody, and we said this ain't going to stand, and Texas put a similar law. Well, a federal judge just blocked Texas's censorship law, and I think it's a good thing. And there are people who get mad at me for doing that, but I think it is a good thing. What do you mean? You must be a traitor. You must be a deep state operative.
I'm sorry to say, guys, you know what? And a lot of people aren't going to like this, and it's just how I feel. If you don't keep your principles, when your principles run up against you personally, then they're not principles, they're ideology.
Yep.
We are on Facebook, we are on YouTube, we are on Twitter. It's their sandbox, it's their rules.
Their rules, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
That's unfortunate.
And we have built up this sandbox to be part of the public domain. Now, under current law, under 230, they get to make the rules.
That's it.
And, you have to play by their rules or find a different sandbox.
That's it.
If we start saying that the government can control who can speak where rather than a private establishment, then we're screwed.
That's it.
Then we're screwed. So Texas blocked, a federal judge blocked Texas's censorship bill against big tech, and I don't like it, but it's the correct ruling.
Right. I don't love the way big tech operates at all. I mean, it's disgusting. And trust me, look. For those of you guys in the chat, I know it's not gonna. A lot of people are gonna take that the wrong way, and that's okay. That's fine. I want to explain this though. Right? Look,
Jen Roman goes.
I made the coffee. I did. It's good. I'm fine. I'm awake.
That's why I'm not awake yet.
But I want to explain. Go that way. I want to explain myself why this is an issue, and why I believe that this is the right decision. Because if you give the government the power, just like we gave them the power in 2020 to determine which businesses were and were not essential, which is amazing to me that we let that go on. Absolutely fantastic. How did we let that go on? I don't know, right? But we did. And now we gave the government that power to determine essential businesses and not essential businesses. Every business is essential. If you own a hair salon or a small business or whatever, and you let the government tell you you're not allowed to open your business, then you are a fool. You can't do that. And I'm sorry, if you lost your business, I mean, look at, what's her name? Shelley Luther in Texas, right, was put in jail for cutting people's hair. Because she was told your business is not essential. Her kids were starving. I'm sorry, I'm opening my salon. Jailed in Texas. Eventually won her case, and that changed things down the road. But when you think about the government having that type of authority over the small business, when you think about government having that authority and having the power to tell a small business who they are allowed, or not a small business, but a business in general, a private company, when you give the government the power to be able to tell Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, anybody how they can, run their platform. Think about what happens when Donald Trump's platform goes live. And in all of those blue states now, if this Texas law was upheld, all those blue states, think about it, like our state, like Massachusetts, like California, like Illinois, right? Those states will then be able to tell Truth Social, Trump's network, how it can operate. And then we're screwed over there too. So we're best being left alone. More laws are not the answer. That is never the answer. More government, more regulations, more policies, more, language and lingo. It's never the answer. Ever, 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 ever. And so what this judge did to the Texas law, I believe, is a blessing in disguise for us, because it's going to motivate us to do what we've had to do for a long, long time. It's what Bongino's doing. It's what Dave Rubin's doing. It's what Shapiro's doing. It's what a lot of these guys are doing. They're building. It's what Steven Crowder's doing. They are building a parallel economy. And that is the only way out of this. I've been saying it for a long time. Bongino's been saying it for a long time. You want to improve things? You want a job done right? Do it yourself. Rumble merging with Cantor Fitzgerald, which is an unbelievable thing. We'll talk about that in a second. Rumble partnering with Cantor Fitzgerald, CFVI, is a huge move to expand free speech platforms. And I believe now that this ruling in Texas is only going to accelerate that growth, the growth of friendly platforms and friendlier institutions for our cause. I don't want to go into an echo chamber. I love Getter. I'm on Getter. Getter is an echo chamber right now. It's okay. It's a great way to reach like-minded people. But you can't have any discussions on there because they all believe you, right? So you got to be on Twitter. You got to be behind enemy lines a little bit. I love Getter. I'm on there. It's a great platform, but it's an echo chamber. I don't want to exist in an echo chamber. The best way, what is the phrase about good ideas and more ideas and better ideas?
That the best solution for bad ideas and bad speech is more speech and better ideas.
Absolutely.
And the fact is that you guys, and this may run counter to a lot of what we believe and what we want. But if you look at Facebook and big tech, they're asking the government to regulate them. They're asking them. That's why that fake whistleblower that came out that said, I know how we can fix this by making me the social media czar, that are making me the one who can do this. They want the government to regulate them so that they no longer have to have the burden of standing up for the free speech of others.
Right.
And the fact that they want to be regulated, no business in history has ever asked the government to regulate them. That's never happened before.
Nope.
John Rockefeller didn't walk into the antitrust committee and say, "Oh, please, break up my company." It's never happened. That's never happened before. The reason why they want that is so that they no longer have to have the burden on themselves. We need to let the parallel economy build and then let the market take care of the rest. We saw this with the news, okay? There was no regulation over the news. CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CNN, all of them. There was no regulation over the truth that they were not telling us. And we saw the rise of the podcast space.
Yep.
We saw the rise of the rogue, even those on the left. We saw the rise of the Young Turks and Kyle Kulinski.
Yep. We
saw the rise on the right of the Ben Shapiros and the Dan Bonginos and Tim Pool.
Independent media,
because there was a yearning for it. Mm-hmm. The market filled the gap that was left by the institutions.
And it always does. The market always fills the gap.
The market always fills the gap.
Always wins.
So I do not want the government to come and censor or regulate Facebook. I want the marketplace to make Facebook die.
Right.
Just like it did to MySpace. Just like it did to Friendster. The market will always fix these things.
Friendster.
Remember Friendster?
Oh, my God.
That's what the market will do. And it's not gonna happen quickly.
Nope.
And it's going to take some victims along the way.
Yep.
But the fact is, if you look at the media model, CNN is dying. MSNBC is dying. Hell, even Fox not doing as well as they were.
Nope.
But you see the rise of breaking points with Crystal and Sagar. You see the rise. I mean, could you imagine? For those of you who remember Walter Cronkite, the most trusted man in America, Walter Cronkite in the 60s and 70s. Today is Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Unfortunately, because Joe Rogan's a toe.
Joe Rogan is the most influential person on the internet.
It's a shame.
Because he just tells the truth on how he feels.
Right. He's just an opinion.
But you believe him.
Right.
I believe
some people believe him.
Even the leftists.
He's a
guy like Kyle Kulinski, right? Who I could disagree with on a number of issues. I believe that he believes what he's saying. I don't believe that Rachel Maddow believes what she's saying. I don't believe that Joy Reid believes what she's saying. Hell, half the time I don't believe the people on Fox believe what they're saying.
No.
But the people on the internet, the people that you go, I know that when I turn on the Young Turks, I'm going to get a leftist opinion.
And an honest one, though.
And an honest leftist
like
opinion.
He
actually believes the crap that he's
reasonable.
spewing. Reasonable. Oh, bacon grease. But, see, and then once the Young Turks started to fail, the rise of Steven Crowder, a late-night talk show, a late-night comedy show. You see with Greg Gutfeld. Late-night comedy sucked.
Good point by Jessica, too. Bill Maher is an honest leftist.
Bill Maher is I've been watching Bill Maher my whole life, and I disagree with him on a great many things, but I believe he believes what he's saying.
I do believe that.
And I trust, and you know what? I trust an honest opinion, even one that I don't agree with.
Yeah.
So we need to let the marketplace fill the void left by these social media platforms, because eventually they will censor themselves out of existence.
And here's the other part of this Texas law. It's on Blaze.com. Again, loudmajorityus.com. Go to there, sign up for the newsletter.
The Blaze, another perfect example.
Another great example of Glenn Beck. You know, he was on Fox for a while, stepped away, created his own entity. Now it's huge, right? Blaze TV. They've got all sorts of, Chad Prather in Texas and all this great stuff. Will Cow does stuff for Blaze TV. HB20, this is Texas, HB20 would prevent social media companies with more than 50 million monthly users from banning individuals based on their political viewpoints. Well, what about social media companies with less than that? And I think this is important. Again, is this discrimination? Are you only targeting certain companies? So there are holes in this bill. One of the most important things I can tell you, and you look back to the Patriot Act, you look back to a lot of these bills and a lot of these laws that were used to regulate, they give you this sense of security, right? Oh, don't worry. We're going to step in. We're going to make sure social media plays fair. We're going to give you this sense of security. No. You do not trade in your liberties for a false sense of security. It's something that Rand Paul has said for a long time, said in the debates in 2015. You don't give in your liberties. You don't trade in your liberties for a false sense of security. It's not what we do. We don't want to do that. Look at the Patriot Act. Look at the Patriot Act. Look. We have a comment here. Never mind. I'm sorry. Look at so George W. Bush. Patriot Act goes into place, gives the government the authority to spy on foreign terror threats, right? All of a sudden, that transitioned into, if they're communicating with domestic people, we can see those communications. Then it turned into spying on a presidential candidate and a presidential campaign off of garbage information, off of the PP dossier, right? The FBI, the P-tape, right? Which still hasn't been shown.
I think Tom Arnold's still looking for that.
Passed off as valid, passed off as verified. How do you verify fake information? You can't. They went around the woods procedures. They know, there's
Forbidden Chocolate is right. Russell Brand. Russell Brand somehow is one of the biggest shows on the internet.
And Russell Schneider is one of the biggest potatoes on Long Island. I love him.
He is. Right.
I love you, Russell.
You Spuddies, but I know you think you look like Bruce Willis, Russell.
He does.
I don't know if either of you know what Bruce Willis looks like.
Nah, but Bruce Willis is awesome. And by the way, at the wedding, we were in the bathroom.
If Russell looked like Bruce Willis, then Hans Gruber would have jumped out the window voluntarily.
Listen, I was in the bathroom at the wedding, and the guy goes, "Yo, your hair? You got that Bradley Cooper thing going."
Thank God I wasn't there. I would have peed on him.
Oh, it was a great time. But back to this idea in Texas and not giving the left the ability to take our laws that we think are a good idea and use them against us. If we give the government the right here to regulate all of these social media companies, what is that going to do to Rumble down the road? What is that going to do to Truth Social down the road? What is that going to do to Getter down the road and Parler and all of those platforms that we consider friendly platforms, or we consider platforms where we can exist without being censored? Well, if a state is allowed to tell a business how it can run and how it can't run, when those platforms go live, when they grow, and when the parallel economy takes hold, is that going to be affected? Are we going to see those blue states now make restrictive laws where our views, again, cannot be spread and cannot thrive? I think that's possible, but thanks to this federal judge. And again, I'm not excited that Facebook is going to continue banning us. I'm banned on Instagram, folks. Everybody sends me messages every day. Oh my God, I can't tag you. I can't tag you. I can't tag you. I know. I hate it. I can't stand it. Twitter's throttling the heck out of everything. You explain to me how a video gets more retweets than another video and less views. Doesn't make any sense to me, but I think it's because I called Kamala Harris a woman of ill repute. And I think what they did was they,
A woman of ill repute? What century are you in? What century?
Well, you see, what happens is I learned a lot from a good friend of mine. His name is Bill. Okay, William Shakespeare. And his name was actually Billy. We called him Billy Shakes, actually.
No, but you know what, Sean? When you say that, you have to understand that the government picking winners and losers.
Never good.
Never good. Because, like we were saying, Getter and Parler and Rumble, if this big tech censorship bill is able to go through, those smaller platforms will never be able to grow to become the Twitter, the Facebook, the YouTube.
Right.
Because they will be throttled without that freedom to grow and make the mistakes on their own. You know, it's almost like we do with children now. You have to give kids the ability to fail so that the best can come to the top. The best parts of their character can come to the top. You have to give these smaller platforms the ability to grow, or we will never be able to be as successful.
Right, because they'll just
stamp
it out, especially if we're trying to exist in a blue state. Imagine if this law goes through, then Kathy, Cuomo in a dress, decides that she's going to go ahead and put together a law in New York that's going to destroy what we're trying to do.
You guys are going to have to come see us in person.
Yeah, you'll have to be, you have to pack out the studio every morning. We're going to have to, do our broadcasts over a walkie-talkie or terrestrial radio, which hopefully, we could maybe work on.
Well, yeah, the terrestrial radio thing is in the works because apparently talent's hard to come by these days.
Apparently. But
they'll hire anybody on terrestrial radio.
Wave, Kevin. Just wave. Hi. Oh boy. As terrible as social media might be now, it's on us. The onus falls on us to create the parallel economy to create the space where our viewpoints can thrive, can exist, can live. And if you want a job done right, you do it yourself. And that's what we're going to be forced to do. And it's a good thing. It's a very good thing that we are going to have total control over what we do going forward. The government cannot be picking winners and losers. Socialism always fails. You know, when a professor failed his entire class, I was sent this article. I think it was a Newsday article. I'm pretty sure. A professor failed his entire class because he was teaching them a lesson on socialism. We'll talk about that later. I'm going to look and see if I could find that article.
But before we do that, guys, make sure you guys like and subscribe this page. Make sure you guys head on over to youtube.com /Long Island Loud Majority. Hit that like button, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. We have to spread ourselves out across all platforms just in case, like we said, in case we get shut down on one of them. Go to loudmajorityus.com, sign up for the newsletter. That way you guys will never miss out on anything we're doing. You guys will be involved in all the events. We got some big stuff coming up over the course of the winter. Check us out on Instagram at Loud Majority. Facebook, well, you guys are probably over on Facebook. Make sure you guys hit like on the particular Facebook page. We're trying to get to a certain number of likes so that Facebook will give us the opportunities to be able to do some of the things that we want to do. I've sent out plenty of invites, making sure you guys know to like and subscribe to the page over on YouTube as well. Make sure you hit that notification bell. That way you get all the updates and you never miss out on anything that we're doing.
So check this out. This is just a quick example. A teacher failed an entire class. I'm going to attach this in the show notes. What the professor said that he was doing something about socialism. I think about this is the best. I mean, this guy's a genius, right? All grades will be okay. The professor said we will have an experiment in his class on this plan. All grades will be average, and everyone will receive the grade, so no one will fail, and nobody will receive an A. All right, substituting grades for dollars, something closer to home and more readily understood by all. After the first test, the grades were average, and everyone got a B. The students who studied hard were upset. Why were they upset? Because they studied hard. They think they earned more than just a B, right? They're upset. They put in more effort, and they only got a B. But the students that weren't the students who studied little were happy. The second test rolled around, and the students who studied hard, studied little, had studied even less. And the ones who studied hard decided they wanted a free ride too. So they studied little. This is called a race to the bottom. And this is what happens with socialism, right? It's a race to the bottom. Instead of encouraging and fostering an environment where success thrives and success is rewarded, what happens is you're encouraging mediocrity, and you're actually encouraging failure because socialism always fails. The second test average, remember, the first test average was a B. The second test average was a D. Nobody was happy. When the third test rolled around, the average was an F because everybody stopped trying. As the test proceeded, the scores never increased as bickering, blame, and name-calling all resulted in hard feelings, and no one would study for the benefit of anyone else. This is a very important lesson to take with you, okay? No, when you get to socialism, we all have to contribute. We're all in this together, right? We all have to contribute. We all have to do, what's right for the common good. Well, when the most successful people are not being rewarded for their success, and their success is being given to people who didn't earn it, those people who are contributing more to the system are going to stop trying because they're saying, it's not worth it for me. Why am I going to go out and study hard for a test and get 100 and have my grade marked down to an 80 because the dude who didn't study got a 40 and we got to bring his grade up? Right? And that's exactly what's going on when you talk about the real life scenario in this country. You look at people who stopped working at the beginning of the pandemic because they were laid off or their businesses were called not essential, and you have this extended unemployment benefit. They're being paid more to stay home. So people just stopped working. They go, what's the point of working? If I'm going to get more money to stay home, I'm not going to try anymore. And it gave way to this new way of thinking where, I just don't have to try. I could just get a free ride and do whatever the hell I feel like. It's a garbage thing. So you see what happened in this case with the school. To their great surprise, everyone failed. And the professor told them that socialism would ultimately fail too, because when the reward is great, The effort to succeed is great. But when government takes all the reward away, no one will try or want to succeed.
I love that line.
Yeah.
You cannot multiply wealth by dividing it.
No, you cannot legislate the poor into prosperity by legislating the wealthy out of prosperity. What one person receives without working for, another person must work for without receiving. The government cannot give to anybody anything that the government does not first take from somebody else. That is so important. Where does the government get all this money from? These for the taxpayer programs, for Planned Parenthood, for foreign aid? They get it from you. They get it from you, the taxpayer. They get it from me. They get it from Kevin. They get it from anybody who's paying taxes. That's where they get it, right? They can't give something to somebody without first taking it themselves. Government doesn't make money. They receive taxes and they take money, and then they'll redistribute. This is a redistribution of wealth. We've seen this. You cannot multiply wealth by dividing it. Very true. And point number 5, when half of the people get the idea that they do not have to work because the other half is going to take care of them, and when the other half gets the idea that it does no good to work because somebody else is going to get what they work for, that is the beginning of the end of any nation. Totally true. Beautiful example. And the whole class wound up failing because nobody was incentivized to work.
You basically just described every Ayn Rand novel.
Yeah,
if you guys haven't seen read Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand, I think it's one of the most important books of the 20th century. A lot of people will say, that it's a child's book. First of all, it's like 1,600 pages, so it's definitely not a child's book.
Not a child's book.
But if you don't have the time to read that, there's movies on it on Amazon. Check them out. In that story, all the productive people leave society, and then society continues to collapse. And that's exactly what happened. You took all the entrepreneurs out of society by claiming their businesses weren't essential. And now that you've reopened the economy and those productive people no longer have the fruits of their own labor, you have no one producing anything.
Correct.
And you wonder why the supply chain bottlenecks.
That's right.
The peasant class, the truck drivers, the people that no one cares about.
Let's be clear. We don't think truck drivers are peasants, but we're using that as an example.
I'm using the way that that our social betters see us.
Truckers, right.
Truckers.
Right.
The people that
blue collar.
The people that actually grow the corn. You took them out of the workforce, took them out of society. You forced them into early retirement. And now you wonder why there's nobody to drive trucks, because it turns out that there are certain jobs that you can't just have anyone do. You need to know how to drive a tractor trailer. You need to know how to grow corn. You need to know how to run a business. But you took those people out of society, told them to stay home, and now there's no reason for them to go back to work.
Right.
You took out all the people that are good at things, and now you expect all the people who suck at everything to run the economy.
Right.
And now what's happening? You have a shitty economy.
You have a terrible economy. You have jobs reports that are falling way under mark. It's not a good thing. Before we continue, I do want to shout out to what happened on Saturday. Very successful events. 2 of them. One of which we were involved in, one of which we really weren't, but I want to shout it out anyway. The Show Me Your Face Christmas party, I heard, was a blast. So congratulations to them. I know Andy Whitman was commenting in the chat before that it was a great time. He was over there. And the Michael Loftus, that show tonight, show at the America First Warehouse on Saturday, same day, was also sold out. I heard it was a smashing success. It was a great time, and I can't wait for the next one. So great job by Michael Loftus, a good friend of ours, and Show Me Your Face New York, also friends of ours. Congratulations on a great weekend. We were out of state. Kevin was at the gala. I was in Texas. Heather was down at the Michael Loftus event, and I know a lot of people were kind of cross-pollinating everywhere. It's great to see that the Patriots are just getting together. They just don't care. The Omicron doesn't mean a damn thing to anybody. We're just getting together. We're staying strong. We're powering through the holidays. We're here for each other. It's great. I heard it was a great weekend here. So congratulations to everybody who had those events and who did everything. It made me happy being in Texas and just seeing that Long Island was just churning right along, just staying strong, staying loud.
It was great. Everyone said the Christmas party was awesome. I actually FaceTimed into the Michael Loftus event while I was at the gala.
Nice.
Everybody looked like they were, I know Lenny was having a blast.
Yeah, Don Cheech.
Don Cheech. God, in the greatest photograph ever taken. Lenny,
oh man,
Lenny, one of my favorite, one of just the best guys.
Oh, what a guy! We love you, Lenny. Lenny Manginelli, the pilot, the captain of Flag Force One, and his truck, he's got like 90 flags. And I say 90, and he's probably going to text me later. Go, I don't have 90 flags. I have 100 flags.
I just added 10 more.
Oh, Lenny's great. Loftus, I heard, was a great time. Lenny, we love you. And Crystal and Mike, all you guys at Shannon, Show Me Your Face, New York. Congratulations. Great job. Very happy to see that everything went well this weekend. So we roll into there's another cool article here, Rand Paul. And I love Dr. Fauci, you lied to Congress, and hopefully in a couple of weeks, turning point, because we'll be there. Hopefully, there's a we'll see. Rand is supposed to be there, and if I ever do get the opportunity to meet Senator Paul, I will be very happy. He's one of the people who got me started, actually, on just his book, Taking a Stand, if you guys want to read it. His father's book, Liberty Defined, if you want to read something that's basically like 1984, where it's prophetic. Read that, Ron Paul.
Ron Paul is actually in Atlas Shrugged, the movie.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's got like a cameo in it.
Of course he does.
He has a cameo.
He named his son after
Sean Hannity has a cameo in it. Even Juan Williams has a cameo in it, where Juan Williams does what he normally does.
Says something ridiculous and gets
wrong.
laughed at. Yeah.
He's wrong in a movie, just like he's wrong.
Erroneous on all counts. Senator Rand Paul tells Americans to ignore Dr. Fauci and live your life. This is a quote. Let's not live in fear because Dr. Fauci is promulgating things that are unscientific just to scare you. The GOP senator said, if you've been vaccinated or if you've had the disease, live your life and ignore this man, and let's hope he can be gone as soon as possible. I have to say, I love Rand Paul. The dude's always honest. He's always he's another one. He's got principles, right? Kevin said it earlier. What do you say? Say it again. I can't remember.
If you don't follow your principles, when your principles butt up against you, they're not principles.
They're ideologies.
It's ideology.
Right.
Just because your team loses doesn't mean that the thing that's happening is incorrect.
Right.
Sometimes
your team sucks. You're a Jet fan.
Sometimes your team is wrong and you're a Jet fan.
Right.
Sometimes your team sucks and you're a Giant fan or a Met fan or pretty much any team in New York.
Yeah, it's like when the Jets lose and I've done this in the past, but like the officials may blow one call, but like my quarterback threw 18 interceptions in one game. We weren't winning anyway. So it's like the officials had no problem.
If you want to win fantasy football,
listen.
Mark number 1: pick no Jets.
Pick no Jets, and also.
By the way, Saquon Barkley is really letting me down this year.
Well, listen, when you take a running back second overall or third overall, that's just what happens. Senator Rand Paul went on Fox News, Sean Hannity's show, and told Americans to ignore Dr. Fauci and not live in fear. Virtually none of the edicts or promulgations that come from Fauci's mouth are based in science at all, Paul told Hannity. Take the idea that we're now going to test the day of travel. The rapid test is accurate about between 30 and 50% if you don't have symptoms. Most people traveling, if they know they're sick, are not going to travel. So most of the people we're talking about traveling are without symptoms. The test is 30 to 50% accurate in terms of the rapid test. Paul noted that the new Omicron variant of COVID-19 is already across the United States and across the world. No travel ban is going to stop it, and no amount of testing is going to stop it, Rand Paul said. Ahead of its spread, Fauci had also said that Saturday he would, quote, not be surprised if the new variant is already in the U.S., predicting, quote, it is almost invariably is ultimately going to go essentially all over. But think about this, Fauci now says. If you know someone's been vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask next to him. So you see him at one of these glittering Hollywood parties the other day, and it's like, oh, if I don't know the person, I put a mask on. If I know them, Paul continued. Well, he doesn't know their vaccine status. How idiotic is that? The senator questioned. Oh, I don't know that person. I'm going to put my mask on. But now I'm going to take it off because I know that person. He doesn't know who's vaccinated or not by looking at them. It's a ridiculous standard, and it's true. Anthony Fauci has run counter to science for so long, and it's a disaster. When you think about the vaccines, when you think about just how ridiculous it's getting, that government is trying to get a look into your life and your vaccine status and all that, it's got to stop. It's going to come to an end soon. I mean, these states are taking action against Biden and the vaccine mandates. He's getting struck down all over. It's a great thing for individual liberty and body sovereignty. Okay, once the government tells you what you have to put inside your body, you're not really free anymore.
And this is very important because I've heard this argument made, and this brings it full circle. The difference between abortion and vaccine mandates is that abortion is not about your body. It's about the body inside. You don't have to get pregnant. There are ways around that. However, could you imagine if for some reason they told you if you've had an abortion, you couldn't get onto a plane? How absurd that would be. Could you imagine if they told you that if you've had an abortion, you couldn't do this, you couldn't do that? Colonel Allen West was talking at the gala the other day that he got denied service in New York City because he didn't have his vaccine card.
Wow.
And he just goes, where am I?
Where am I?
Where am I? I'm in New York City, the greatest city in the world, and I just got denied service because I don't have a vaccine card. It's harkening back to a very, very dangerous time in this country.
Yeah, and it's also when you think about like the unvaccinated and how they're being talked about, it's very, very scary. You know, it's this is a pandemic of the unvaccinated. This is and you start getting insight into people and seeing what's happening in Australia. You know, you're looking at quarantine camps with electrified fences being put up. I mean, we say it all the time. They're now turning into a prison colony.
My favorite is Austria.
Oh, yes.
Austria is now requiring you show your vaccine paperwork to go outside. Austria. Does that sound familiar to anyone?
That's kind of scary.
See. What time period does that harken back to? Anybody? Austria. I got news for you. Anytime Austria wants to do something in any context, no thank you.
No thanks.
No thank you, okay? Because when Austria does something, Germany does something.
Right.
And when Germany does something, it usually involves invading France.
Right.
You know, they pop over once every 25, 30 years.
Yep.
They're overdue now. And no one has the balls to just go, you guys tried this once already. You did it with tuberculosis, with the Jews. Remember that one?
In lice.
And lice.
They said they have lice. They're diseased. You have to stay away. That's how they're treating the unvaccinated. Well, guess what? I'm unvaccinated. And please, liberals, stay away from me. I'm fine with that. You want to stay away from me because I'm not vaccinated? Fine, by all means. Get the hell out of my face. Go away. You know, you want to, he's not wearing a mask. You know, it's funny when someone goes, you're not vaccinated? And I go, no, and I'm not wearing a mask, so I'm super scary now, aren't I? Because I'm going to get you sick.
At this point,
it's crazy.
I'm just assuming that everyone who's wearing a mask is only wearing it because they don't want people to know how ugly they are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that's the thing. You know, you can put your mask, if you didn't shave one morning or something, or you're like kind of scruffy, you can put the mask on and hide it. That's like the best part about the mask. You can look like crap and hide that. That's just pretty cool.
You're feeling a little bloated in the morning, your cheeks.
That face you just made is going to be a meme. I'm telling you right now. Anybody who saw that face, Barry, go back and screenshot that and meme
Barry,
the heck out of that. Barry, do it. Barry, please.
You do not have permission.
Yes, you do have permission. You have all the permission in the world.
Wait, what is it they say at all the NFL games?
Oh, God. Distribution, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, without the express written consent of loud majority.
Well, you have... I'm expressing so much consent, more consent that the world has ever seen. Meme the hell out of that pic, because you've been the face of a memes the whole weekend, you. Oh, my gosh, I'm having a good time.
Now it's just sitting on me. This is real good.
It's pretty funny. Well, I'm going to go over. We're going to do some geography. You want to do some geography?
Yeah, we're going to do a.
Let's do a little geography. We're going to play a little. I'm going to play around with something here. Let's do some geography, shall we? All right, so I'm turning this off. I think you guys can hear me still, and we're gonna try something here. Check this out. This is Australia, okay? So this is Australia, and I'm seeing. I think everybody can still hear me. This is Australia, and we're gonna do something, right?
Yeah.
Let's have a little fun. Hey guys, how the hell are you? I want to go over vaccines. I want to go over some stuff, right? So this beautiful country right here is Australia. It is an island nation. Now you see this blue area right here. You see all this beautiful, the Coral Sea. You come all the way down here. We're missing Tasmania. Look, I'm going off the screen, but woo, I'm pretty good at this. But it's an island nation. All right, you notice that it's an island nation. What does that mean? Well, we found out that the Omicron variant is in Australia, somewhere in here, someplace. It's from this coast all the way across. Wow, we have partly cloudy skies. We're looking at a hurricane. Okay, we have the Omicron in Australia. Now, the rules when you fly in and out of Australia, now let's talk about how to get to this country. Since it's an island, you can't drive to it, right? You show me on this map how the hell you could drive to this country. Where's the bridge? Where's the tunnel? How can you do it? You can't. All right? You can't take a train there either because of this whole water issue. All right? Now, You can take a boat there, but I don't know if Christopher Columbus is still doing stuff like that. I'm not 100% sure about it. Or, and this is interesting, or you could fly there. But if you're flying into Australia, you must be vaccinated, right? So if you must be vaccinated to enter the country, because you can only enter the country on a plane, and they have all these really horrible laws mandating vaccines and whatnot, if the vaccinated are the only people that can enter this fine country of Australia, then that must be the way the Omicron variant entered Australia. And if that's the way the Omicron variant entered Australia, that means that the vaccinated are spreading the Omicron variant. Folks, it's very important to understand that even if you are vaccinated, you're not 100% protected from this disease. Apparently, even if you have antibodies, you're not 100% protected from this disease. But you may have better protection against this disease than the vaccine. We went over this the other day about what the vaccine does and the downregulation and the AB2 antibodies and the myocarditis. You know, apparently myocarditis is being talked about and a swollen heart is being talked about as something that's just normal these days. Well, maybe it's normal because so many people have been vaccinated and have had these terrible after effects. But I'll tell you something right now. I've been around for 30 years. I've never had a swollen heart, and I would never assume that if my heart became swollen or inflamed, that's normal.
Well, my heart has been swollen many times.
What's your big heart?
It's because I'm just so
You're
big-hearted.
a nice person.
I'm just a really nice guy.
But you tell me any way to get into this country, Australia, and folks, how about this green screen? This is pretty cool. But you tell me how to get into this country, Australia, without a plane. And if you're taking a plane into this country, you must be vaccinated. So I figured we'll play around with the green screen. How about it? I wanted to do this last week when we had all those issues. But this is it, right here. So if you're getting in there, you have the Omicron variant in Australia, you have the Omicron variant now in the United States, you have the Omicron variant in all these different countries. So many people are vaccinated. It's clear that they're spreading it. It's clear that there is no way to stop the spread of COVID right now. You're hearing that the Omicron variant, though, is very mild. And conveniently, you're also hearing that it targets kids. Why? Because now they finally approved it for ages 5 to 11. So there's obviously a plan to get the kids vaccinated. You guys make your own decisions. Parents, I know you're against a lot of this. But stay strong, hold the line, and don't let the ridiculous narrative about the vaccine rule the day. I'm going back to the. I'm coming back around. So that was pretty cool, right? I think that was pretty awesome. How'd you guys like that? How'd you guys like that green screen? Was that cool? To the chat, was that pretty cool?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
That was pretty cool.
I mean, obviously we have to do a little bit of practice with that green screen.
Well, it was the first time we run it, so we just messed around with it. Not too bad.
Kevin's heart is 2 sizes too small.
Oh, Barry.
Barry, are you trying to tell me that I'm the Grinch?
Yeah.
Which is fair, because I'm not going to lie.
The Grinch?
I don't like Christmas.
Well, then you're the Grinch. Bah humbug. You're Scrooge.
I don't know.
Scrooge.
It's festive. There's lights everywhere. I don't know why we put up the lights.
You know what? Scrooge rhymes with huge.
I guess because I don't have kids.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, listen. You want to dress up as Santa?
No.
Oh, you really don't want to do that?
I can promise you there will be no circumstance in which I dress up as Santa Claus.
Okay, fine.
Only way I'm doing it is if you dress up as an elf.
Not happening. So there will be no Santa.
So time out.
What?
So you want to volunteer me?
No, I didn't volunteer you. I asked if you were dressing up as Santa. I asked if you were dressing up. Don't do this. I asked if you were dressing up as Santa. He said no.
But you won't be my elf.
Of course not.
Who wants to see Sean in a green leotard?
Invalid question. Doesn't matter.
A green leotard.
No green leotards for Sean.
I'll wrap you in that green screen and we'll hand out gifts.
I actually used the green screen once as a blanket. That was a funny time. That was after we ate the trunk pizza. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy Whitman.
Just distributor pizza.
Guys, once again, make sure you guys head on over to youtube.com/Long Island Loud Majority. Subscribe, head on over to the website, which is right up here. LoudMajorityUS.com. Sign up for the newsletter so you never miss out on a single event. Make sure you like and subscribe to this page on Facebook and at Instagram at Loud Majority. Distribution by proxy. Share this video out to all your friends, anyone you think might enjoy it or might enjoy a little laugh this early in the morning.
Yes. So please go to...
Tabitha says elf. Yes, elf.
I would say no. I would think it's not a good idea. That's just it's potentially it's a matter of public health. So think about where we are. Think about what are you doing?
You're peeking.
No, I'm not peeking. Believe it, it's fine.
No,
good here. No, that's fine. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
It's okay. When you think about, please go to YouTube.com. And there's a lot of people on YouTube right now, a lot of people on Facebook right now.
Yes.
Folks,
thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Watching on Facebook, hit the share button. 108 people on Facebook right now. If we share this thing 108 times,
they can't stop us.
They can't stop. So just all you gotta do is hit the share button. You're not gonna get in trouble. No one's gonna call you names. Maybe somebody will call you names.
Maybe someone will call you names, but they're probably ugly.
But they're probably ugly anyway. So you can call them ugly right back. Or smelly. You can call them smelly too. They probably smell like feet.
You smell so bad that I can smell you through Facebook.
Yeah, I can smell you through the live stream. As a matter of fact, oh gosh.
Patrick Hahn, good morning, my friend. Running for Senate against Chuck Schumer.
Running for Senate. Hello, Patrick Hahn. So please do us a favor and yourselves a favor if you like the group, if you're involved. If you
Dominique
like
wants to know where you got your Trump face from.
hit the where I got my Trump face.
Yeah, she gave it to you.
Oh yes, she gave it to us. Her parents gave it to us at one of the events, right?
Yeah,
that's what it was. Wonderful thing. Actually, you know what? Speaking of that. Here it is, okay? We're talking about it. Watch it. Look at this big, beautiful face. What do you think about it? Look at this hair. It's wonderful. It's a fantastic thing. When you look at it, Kamala Harris is a snake. She slept her way to the top. Willie Brown's true toy. Willie Brown. So and thank you for you guys. If you guys shared that, that was awesome, too. Went pretty good. Got some new ideas. Got some new content that's going to be coming out as well on that front as well.
All right, guys. What do we got? 5 minutes to 8.
Yeah, we got about 5 minutes left. We can just goof around for the next 5 minutes. Look at the chat, get a little silly. What are you guys doing? This week is going to be interesting. What's coming up this week? Anything big? We're going to Jersey on the 11th, right? We're doing some.
Yeah, we're going to be in Morristown, New Jersey, speaking at the Freedom Alliance event in Morristown.
Yep,
that's going to be a good one. We're going to be traversing the tri-state area that day. We got to go from Morristown to Queens, and then back to Long Island. Put some miles on the truck. It will be another day of some driving. It's nothing too crazy. We're going to be putting that out, the information on that Morristown event. If anybody is in here from Jersey or feels like taking a ride at the crack of dawn, to meet us over in Jersey, it's going to be fun. The event starts at 9, I believe, so we're going to be there nice and early. We'll be up there, leaving here early, getting there. So we will be in Jersey this weekend on the 11th. Why'd that happen? There we go. And someone says here, Maggie Fernandez, and she's always watching. Maggie, shout out Maggie. Come to Florida. We'll be there in Orlando in the end of February. Yeah, we'll be in Orlando the end of February. Sean might be in a different place in Florida, but that's another story. Oh, I'll be in Tallahassee in the first couple weeks of January. So we're gonna have some fun down there. It'll be a good time. Don't look at me like that. So you silly goose. Oh wow. Is the coloring off on the screen? You look a little red. No, I think the camera might be a little oversaturated. The camera might be a little off. Yeah. So, so we're having a good time though. We have CPAC, Saturday. CPAC Orlando. If you guys are big conservatives and you want to have a really good time, check out CPAC Orlando. It's like $100 to fly down. Yeah, there. February 24th to 27th. It's a lot of fun. We went the last 2 events, and I'll never miss a CPAC ever again. It's a lot of fun. Plus, you get the hell out of here in February. You can go somewhere where the weather is normal. Stop. Let me bring that up for a second. I went down to Texas. 75 degrees in December. You guys like this crap? I gotta be honest. I love the state. Great state of Texas. If I'm ever elected governor of the state, I will make a promise to lower the temperature of the statewide. I'll never get elected that way, but that's okay. Speaking of Texas, shout out to this family that I met at the wedding from Katy, Texas. I don't know if they're watching. They might be. They might not be. But found a school board candidate at a wedding, believe it or not. She wants to run. I told her, let's do it. So let's see if we can get this thing done in Texas. We're spreading our roots. And they said to me, the first thing they said to me was, hey, we have a problem with diversity, inclusion, and equity here in Texas. I said, oh, really? We have similar problems in New York. So even in a beautiful red state like Texas, they're still trying. Big fight coming in the schools. So keep the pressure on. Keep the foot on the gas. All righty, guys, as we roll into 8 o'clock here. Yeah, we're rolling in. So we're going to close it up one more time. Go to loudmajorityus.com. Sign up for the newsletter. Head over to the shop. Pick up your Let's Go Brandon shirt like my buddy Anthony did on the plane yesterday. My man Anthony in Texas was like, you know what? I want that Brandon shirt. My sister's a big liberal. I'm going to get it for her. I said, hey, that's your problem, brother. But thank you so much to Anthony and everybody who's been supporting us all the way. A lot of people love the shirt in Texas, so there were people that were ordering it in the airport too, or getting excited, taking pictures. For those of you guys on YouTube, youtube.com/Long Island Loud Majority.
Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Over on Facebook, same deal. Please, please, please share the post. Just hit the share button. Just hit it once. Post it to your personal feed. Whatever groups you got, whatever you think, just post it up. Have some fun with it. Spread the word, distribution by proxy, loudmajorityus.com. And once again, in the face of government tyranny, government overreach, and these vaccine mandates and the failing
Look
aspect
at the
of
chat.
socialism,
You guys know what to say.
The chat is going crazy. They know what to say at 8 o'clock. In the face of all this stuff, we say it louder and louder and louder every single day from every rooftop, soapbox, street corner, bullhorn, etc., etc. We say it over and over and over again until the people in power get it or get the hell out of our way. And those 4 words are, look at that chat, we will not comply. Thank you guys so much. God bless you. God bless America. We will see you Wednesday morning. Until then, Patriots, stop complying and stay loud.